and export. That's where the opportunities are in terms of agribusiness, in terms of the manufacture that you're talking about. Agriculture is number one. That's why under the arrest agenda, agriculture is first and foremost.
The President, I'm Sylvester Chopley, work for Spoon Network. All of these agreements, they are very good and unique to Liberia. But is there any timeline for implementation for all of these agreements, arrangement with these companies or international partners?
You know very well that when you take over a country, uh, especially like our country, you have to restore the owners' conference, your partners, got to open up opportunities, that confidence building. And we are getting there. I mean, you can see that we are now documenting, people are now signing up. So the timeline is now, things are moving.
So, Mr. President, you at the summit too, you also re-echo Liberia's strong support towards the African continental free trade area. How effective is this platform to enhance economic integration in the
That's
sub-region?
important. That's important because we talk about free trade. When you go to the borders, the immigration squeezing you, the securities are squeezing. We have to unlock those opportunities. That free trade means you give the people the opportunity to go through things in the right way, in a speedy way. People who go to the border, they run into a lot of problems. In fact, these are the issues that we're talking about. Give the people a chance to move around freely, to do business, bring goods, carry goods to that country. That's our emphasis. That's what we mean about unlocking opportunities for all of our commodities that come in and out of the country.
Thank you so
Thank you all
much.
very much,
Okay.
President.
The tree stem has branches. The branches are those that support the tree to stay. So if our president for local country is the father of the country, we too have our role to play. Maybe the minister, the director, the representative, the deputy speaker. If all of us put support around him, really go far with the develop, right? So that's why I said I will take the lead.
All right, guys. Hello there to everyone, and thank you guys so much for sticking around. It's very interesting every day when you listen to people in Liberia, government officials trying to discuss the challenging situation in the country. I'm of the same belief that I had yesterday, many years ago, that this country called Liberia is not going anywhere. There will be people having their conversation, whether it is around the kitchen table, at the Atayi shop, in your car, or on major platform, mini platform, or no platform. The way things are going, there is no sense of hope that indeed Liberia will be a better country. I can tell you guys right now. Today I had a very interesting conversation with somebody from Liberia. Very interesting conversation. I'm not going to review the detail here. I'm just going to give you guys just a snapshot of what the conversation was all about. The first thing I made the person to understand is being in the diaspora as a Liberian is not an automatic ban on me for not discussing things within Liberia that is happening. I have that right and I'm entitled to it. And we can passionately disagree based on our political interest. But the common equation we have that equate to a particular number, but in this case, a country called Liberia. So many times that we can passionately disagree. The passion means you have it for your party, and I have it for my country or my party as well. We can passionately disagree, but at the end of the day, our focus should be about the country. Oftentimes, I see a difference in the mind of opposition where they tend to look at my critique, turn my critique into hate, which is not the case. Unless you are passionate about your party, that way you will see my criticism as a hit for your political leader. But my criticism stems from the fact that we must hold our leader accountable. And how do we hold our political leader accountable? We hold every government official, including the president, accountable through policy implementation and performance evaluation. When people take office, what bring about changes to improve the community across the country, one is the policy. And based on the policies that bring about different strategies to achieve an agenda or a goal will be measured based on performance. And those things will start to put itself into order once the government start to carry out its function. Whenever a game starts, there is always a zero time. And that's why oftentimes most experienced ref will often look at their watch and then blow that whistle. Because once they blow that whistle, the time starts to count to reach the first half and to the end of the game. That means that the accountability, the responsibility, the expectation of everyone on that playing field should be aligned with the rules, the respect, the timing, and the fair play. We don't have those things in Liberia. So when you see me on the platform, I want you to take two things away. J. Randy is owner challenging the policy of this government, and he's measuring their performance. Those two things make sense. You implement policy. Policy is there to transform things for the betterment of the people. So you see, in 2023, when Mr. Joseph Boakai ran his election, he has 6 bullet points that he considered to be his platform, right? One, Mr. Boakai had the arrest, which is the A, and then you had 2R, and then you had EST, that arrest, right? And each letter represents a particular policy, right? So Mr. Boakai ran on our 6 pillars. Those 6 pillars meant something better for the people of Liberia, right? And while he ran those things, all right, while he ran those things, we were taking count. Let me see here. We have the arrests, which include the agricultural sector, roads, rule of law, education, sanitation and health, and then of course, the last one, tourism and technology. Going forward, I want you to understand that Mr. Boakai, when I come to discuss my show here, going forward, I want people to understand exactly how this show is going to be conducted. This show is going to be conducted by evaluating Joseph Boakai on his policy and performance. We have gone almost 20 months into Mr. Boakai administration. And let's say if Mr. Boakai was taking each letter to be considered as 1-year project from the A and the double R and the EST, that means if we do it in sequential order, now we are into what? 20 months, chasing 2 years. That means Mr. Boakai has already lost the first bullet point of his arrest. That means the agriculture sector is completely out of achievement. He's not going to achieve that because he there for 6 years. And if every letter in that arrest represents 1 year of implementation, that means he has already lost the agriculture sector. What comes after the A? Well, that is the first R. He talked about infrastructure, but we are chasing the second year. So that means Mr. Boakai has roughly about what? 6 or 7 more months to go to achieve that agenda on the road, because the first R stands for road. So after all these years, the thing that Mr. Boakai promised, we are not seeing none of those things. So why would not give me the right to say, you know what, I need to challenge Mr. Boakai arrest agenda? Don't you think we have a right to ask those questions? Absolutely, we have a right to ask those questions. We are Liberians. We want it better for our country. We want to create awareness. And of course, we want to hold Mr. Bawker accountable. But the country we find ourselves in is so illiterate that the people don't tend to understand what is good for them. But before I go deep down into what I really want to say here, I saw a post by someone putting Martin Colley, the Martin Colley guy who goes around, challenge people credential, say things about people. Martin Colley, according to the post, he had a girl conceiving a baby for him. A white girl conceiving a baby for him in Europe. This is the Martin Colley guy who always preached equity. But he found himself in the Netherlands, and now he trying to formulate his own family. Now, do I have any right to challenge Martin Colley? No. But what is pushing me to talk about Martin Colley? Because Martin Colley pretends to be the guy who is so clean, going around with the wet gloves, and everything he touches, there is a stain on the gloves. This guy left from Liberia, and now he's trying to find his way into the Netherlands immigration system by getting a white girl and having the girl pregnant to born a child by him, so that he, one, can have a European child, two, to become a European or a Netherlands citizen. But this is the guy who many Liberians in the country there wholly and solely looking up to. He poses things, he discusses people, but in the back end, he's doing his own bullshit back there. These are some of the deceptiveness of these guys. That is why I keep telling Liberians in that country, you guys will be fucked up for a long time. You guys will be fucked up for a long time, because all these Dick and Harry guys that on the platform, you call your leader, you call your role model, these guys are hustlers. They're only using you guys for popularity, and then when they cross over, the next thing you know, they're ready to take care of themselves. A true patriot will go to study, and after he study, he will return back to Liberia and say, I'm here. Martin Colley is a mere hustler, a parasitic guy who goes around and look for things. I'm not going to hold it and solely judge here, but if that information is true, Martin Colley need to come on whatever platform he always come. Let him come and discuss what had changed in his life. He wants to be a public figure. He tried to bring other people down. So it is time that people bring and say, Martin Colley, are you truly committed to your belief and value of Liberia? What prompted you now, instead of fostering your studies, you now start to produce children in the Netherlands? You have right to ask that question. Because if Martin Colley, and I'm sure there are many Liberians today that you and I don't know about, that minding their business in Europe, in America, or elsewhere, and getting into the marital activities. But they are not in the public eyes to criticize other people. Those category of people, for me, I got no qualms going after these people. If you're a private citizen, you got your Facebook page, you marry, and stuff like that, I don't give a what. And you know, you can have your life. But when you have someone like Martin Colley, who by the time somebody step here, he read to bring a forensic lens and looking around at it, Martin Colley need to be questioned. You see, Martin Colley is an illegal immigrant in the Netherlands. He used that immigration status to get people. And these are things that Donald Trump don't want to see happening, because he pretend that he loved Liberia. He pretend that he loved the young people who follow him. But at the same time, he's not being honest with his commitment to Liberia. But we'll hold that story for now. But I'm looking forward to Martin Colley coming out to tell the Liberian people why things changed. Why did it change? That's what I would like to know. Why did it change? Why did Mr. Colley change? I would like to know. Don't you think you would like to know yourself too? Of course. I would like to know, and you should also be curious to know about that. But that's how the Liberian guys are. They will come here, they will put themselves before you guys. They, oh, we did. But in the end, they will let you down. So that is the story of Martin Cully. We hope to hear from Martin Cully. Those of you guys that know Martin Cully, if that image is true, I will be posting out there. I mean, they don't respond to my posts. You know, one thing about these guys, they don't respond to my posts. Whether it's Prophet Key or Martin Cully or Henry Costa, these guys don't respond to my posts because they know responding to my posts cannot defeat their purpose, cannot defeat their agenda. They are not honest people. All right? Now, another thing that is happening here too, as far as information goes, and I would like to thank my friend Tobagi. He sent me an information, which I was already aware of. You see, in Liberia and around the world, Liberian people love to come to America, right? Yeah, they love to come to America. Even Martin Cully think that when he married to a girl from Netherlands, he can come to America here. It's not going to be an easy thing. And, you know, he can come visit, but to come and capitalize it, it's going to be a little bit challenge for him. But let's expand the conversation right now. There are some people in Liberia who are using Facebook to hide their identity. But guess what? Something has formulated itself and is going to force some of them to unblock their profile. And that is called proper vetting. The Donald Trump administration is working through the Department of State that anybody who wants to obtain a visa from the U.S. Embassy to come to America, you have to unblock your black profile so the State Department, the Department of Homeland Security can check you out. So all the guys with fake profile that want to come to America, you have to identify yourself whether you have a Facebook account in Liberia. If you lie, you're not coming here forever. If they found out and you came to the country on a pretend, you are going to be deported and you're not coming back here. So that's something that is coming on. Liberian people just think the crooked way will work, just how it works for a few people. It doesn't work that way. All right? All right. So moving along here. There's a guy in Liberia, and this guy's story is not just unique to himself. There have been a lot of bad things happening in our country. And this government don't really care. You know, I listened to my man Benjamin. I listened to Benjamin today. Benjamin was talking about, Benjamin, he has a show. And there are times that he brings some guys on. And this guy, I think he's out of Canada. And he says something that took my interest a little bit to look deeper into what he was saying. So they were talking, I believe, because I was in and out. But what I think I captured from that conversation that really interests me, I think they were talking about the process or the processes, policy and regulation in the country. So this guy from Canada, he said he invested $2 million. I think he has some type of philanthropic organization where they beg for money essentially, and people give them money. But I don't know whether his organization will be honest enough to provide his financial report so that we can go on his website to see. But that's something that I would be interested in because it's financial transparency. So he needs to bring that on because people are giving you their money collectively. Whatever you're doing, the picture speaks 1,000 words. However, sometimes the picture cannot really defend the financial cost of what you're showing on social media on the picture. So he runs the organization. I believe he's out of Canada. He went to Liberia and built a library. So I'm listening to him today, And then he presented a strategy which I think is a very weak strategy. It's not going to help the country. It's not going to open up the country. And they were talking about how people in Liberia are not sincere, whether it is your personal project you want to carry out to a business project you want to carry out. So this guy from Canada, he came to express his he came to explain his experience, how he managed to get things done in Liberia. Now, there's a reason I'm giving you this thing. So he's saying there are people in Liberia, I'm not quoting him right, but I will try to quote him right. He said there are people in Liberia who are trying to be good. And he also said there are people who you need to connect with so that they can be able to help you achieve your goal. And he said, and I'm just going to paraphrase this, whenever you having to come across an individual and you succeed, he believed that is one of the ways that will get you to get your project accomplished in Liberia. And the reason that he gave as a positive for him is there's no system that works in the country. There's no rule or enforcement in the country. So whatever loophole you find is the loophole you can use to get your mission or your goal accomplished. And he said that's why he did to finish out that library, I think, or whatever project he talked about as far as the 2 million goals. And then he also encouraged other people who are contemplating on doing business to go in that same faction. Now, I want you to understand the reason why I'm bringing this, all right? You got an entire country called the Republic of Liberia. They got the executive branch, they have the judicial branch, they have the legislative branch. They have a triangular government system that operates through the principles of democracy. Now, these guys are supposed to make sure that economic stability, security assurance, legal process, and due process as it relates to business processes, legal processes, and all other processes work within the confined space of democracy, right? That is the expectation. But this guy from Canada is saying those things don't work. So what you might want to do if you want to carry development in Liberia, you have to go through someone who went through that way and became successful. That means he's leaving an entire government system out of use. So how do you operate in a society that you have to go through the back door, you have to be ducking and turning to get stuff done? Do you see any future in our country? No. I think the reason the brother went through this thing here is he had received the big money. He don't want to wait. He don't want to push the government to ensure that the policy work at every level of interaction, because it will be a delay, it will be lagging, and he might not get that support again. So whatever way he finds, that is the way he's going to operate. I'm saying no to that. Why should I have to go through this guy? Why don't we have an institution that provides services for everyone? Because the government is elected to provide services, right? But the guy is saying there's no process in place, there's no rule enforcement, there's no compliance monitoring. These things don't work. So you have to go through this way. Do you think what he's describing, you see that as someone trying to put a thread in a needle hole? That is going to take a longer time because the system will not change. He is saying go through the back door. These are some of the reasons why when I come on this platform, I want you to understand that when I post things, I'm looking at the government policy and I'm measuring their performance. These guys cannot come during campaign time and tell you that, look, we are going to do X, Y, and Z. Here is our framework that we call our platform. Help us get elected. Because you see, when people run on their platform, the message or messages they present to you during that campaign time, it is described as your campaign platform message. So in the case of Joe Boga, he often talk about the arrest. He went to Nigeria, he said, we got the arrest. And within the arrest, what did he say? Mr. Boga said, and I quote, we are going to focus on agriculture. We are going to focus on roads. We are going to focus on the rule of law. We are going to focus on education. We are going to focus on sanitation and health. And then last thing, we are going to focus on tourism and technology. Those are the things that Mr. Boga drew as his campaign message for the people of Liberia. And he described that as what? Arrest. So during the campaign of Mr. Boga, that was considered his campaign message. Anybody who looks at it will say, agriculture, I'm interested in agriculture. I really want to see farming activity in our country. Roads? Oh, forget it, we need more roads. Now, when Mr. Boga won this election and became president in 2024, that campaign platform, the moment Mr. Boga won that election, that campaign platform, that is the arrest, should automatically transform into what? Government policy. You see, the government or the political party, political leaders, when they are campaigning, they are not campaigning to make laws. While it is true that they will advocate to create new laws, their term in office and their primary responsibility are driven through policy. That is why when they are campaigning, their platform identify issue in the country and they tell you how they're going to address that by prioritizing certain institution in the country. Like in Boga case, he talked about agriculture, he talked about road, he talked about rule of law. These are all fundamental tools that we must be able to engage and operate within our country to improve life and other things in our country, right? So whoever campaign and say, make me president, here is what I have identified, because the things that people identify are things that they use as their campaign message. Like for example, a 2-minute rapes taking place in the country, you can tell the person, look, rape will be a zero tolerance in the country when I become president. So you're going to use that rape as part of your campaign agenda to discuss issue. So when you get elected, you're going to take that rape concern and turn it into a working policy that will be implemented, monitor, and measure your performance from how rape used to be, at what level or percentage. Now that you started your program through your policy and enforcement action, how it is drifting now, it's dropping. That way we see your policy and then we measure your performance. But this Mr. Boga man said he been in office for all these years. I mean, for the 19 going on 18 months. All the months, we are yet to see a formulation of a policy from Mr. Boga. For example, the agriculture. When last have you seen the National Agriculture Agenda that tell you exactly what Boga has been thinking about the agricultural sector in Liberia? Now that he's president, how is he going to solve the agriculture problem? What policy does he have now that he's going to start to implement? And how okram or familiar are you guys with that policy? It has been 19 months, going on 20, We got 12 months that make 1 year. Volker has added almost like 7 months to that now. That equating it down to pretty close to 18 months. 19 months. And there is nothing we are seeing from Joseph Boyka. And this is where I come in now and say, you know what? What happened to Mr. Boyka's agenda? Because I'm looking at his policy now, because he's not president. There's no such thing as the arrest campaign message. No. The day he was declared president, that arrest campaign message became a policy implementation programs to begin to implement in the country and change the life of our people. Many Liberians don't understand these things. You see, some of us who work in the corporate world, our value are measured through our performance that provide or produce expectation. So we are so sensitive to things that we see as data, that we see as a measure that should improve, and that we see as a data that need to be unpacked so that we can begin to find solution to this problem. So when I look at Joe Boyka after all these years, I'm asking myself, but what the guy has done, what is he doing? And what has he achieved? Those are things that I'm asking. All right? Think about you with some type of responsibility, but you are not delivering on your responsibility. Don't you think your supervisor will ask you? Why you think your supervisor come every day and assign a job task for you to do? Because there must be a daily performance to deliver results. Because the collective result that you got will boost your department performance level. And in order for everyone to be on the same page as far as performance goes, there must be a unique or a distributed responsibility that you guys need to carry out. We don't have those things. So let's come back to the issue of what the guy was saying in Liberia, that you gotta go through the back door or whatever door you open to get successful. That is one of the problems we have in the country. You cannot go to an institution directly to get things done. So why do we have government when the government is not making life easy for us? Instead, we gotta go through the back door channel to get stuff done. But we have people who are supposed to be looking out and say, look, I don't think the guy should be going through the back door. We have a government here. We have a system or structure in this place. We should allow every customer to perform. Every potential investor, Liberians, non-Liberians that come in the country, they should be going through the legal process to get things done. And that's why we are here. But that is unheard of in Liberia because the people don't care. So given all these things I'm telling you, do you really think that Liberia in the next 5-10 years will become a better country? No. These guys who call themselves lawmakers, the executive branch, then when they come to power, all the agenda they talk about, you don't see any result coming from the agenda. So they just build this, quasi agenda to speak to the audience out there because they know when people see you talking about something virtually, it makes sense to them. But as far as understanding how these things work, they don't care about that. Most especially when they are with a political party. So things will continue to be very bad off in our country. Look at, for example, how many times have you read online or how many times have you listened to radio, podcasts, or anything from Liberia and they told you, say, oh, somebody wasted acid water on the person? Yes. There have been many stories where people have gotten impacted from acid spill or splash, right? There are some deranged Liberians from the war days that still live in their subconscious of wickedness and evilness, that they don't hesitate to take anything to inflict harms on anyone. Why should that be a continual behavior from the Ellington to the Weir Town to the Boca Town? What can we do to stop that? Because acid essentially destroy the skin, and if it hit the wrong part of your body, like get in your eye, you blind forever. So those are highly sensitive material that should not be in the street. But guess what? It is on the street, like somebody putting dirty or used paper all on the street. So any Dick or Harry can just get up and say, oh, I'm going to get acid, I'm going to do something with it, and nothing happened. It happened during the Ellington, it happened during the Weir Town, now it happened during the Boca Town. And then Liberians want to sit down on platforms and want to discuss the future of their country when the basic thing that need to be restricted. These guys are a bunch of jokers. I'm not lying to you. These guys are a bunch of jokers. Liberia need people who will sit down and analyze things from the grassroots and begin to measure the root with the growth of the grass and see whether everything can be leveled out so that it can grow together. If not, it will not be the right thing or will not hit the right target. The Ministry of Justice, through the EPA, the Ministry of Health, and through President Boca executive order, Mr. Boca was serious. Because you see, when you study risk analysis, there is something called imminent danger that is ready to cause harm. The fact that anybody who pick up an acid, no matter the quantity, that drop of acid is dangerous. Before I will even say a spill. Those are things that should not be handled legally or by anyone. Those are things that should fall under what we call controlled substance. Before you get it, you have to fill out specific documentation from the point of purchase to the disposal of it. So that way we can trace whoever used that. But that is something that's not going to happen in Liberia until 2065. So when you see the guy talking about all these things, they are not blending their experience on how to manage things in our country. Now, let's look at the consequences of the bad behavior. Because first we have to put in the administrative control to limit public access to these things. That is technically administrative control. Now, let's look at the behavior of people who are in the habit of using those things. What are the consequences? Well, the law needs to come into place. People who intentionally take acid and splash it on somebody, there should be a lesson learned from that behavior. People should start doing between 15 to life in prison. If you commit those kind of heinous crime, 15 to life. If you start to do these things in Liberia, when somebody pick up some type of acid and say, oh, the first thing I will create to the man, tell me, one of my body will have me in jail for life. Or the guy die in jail. He will say, no, let me put it in there before I turn to be the next person on our list. But in Liberia, these things are not going on. People take this thing lightly. But in the process, people are getting damaged in our country. I'm yet to see any leader in our country, whether that George Weah, that Boca, I'm yet to see a leader who actually comes to power to serve and protect the people. People are getting hurt in our country because of people's bad behavior. And many people who live outside the country or people who are in the country enjoying from the lawmakers or somebody government official, they do not give a damn. Now, take for example, the lady that got killed and was raped. We often talk about having system in this place. If every Liberian in our country went through a process, whether that dental visit, whether it is fingerprinting, whether it is the ID card system, if we had a database of almost 98% of Liberians, they said that woman was raped, some of the forensic pathologists who have gone into that woman, take any semen from in there and carry it for laboratory analysis and run it through a database, and you get a hit. So yes, whoever did that thing to that girl, we got a hit. And you put the man picture up. It's not impossible for Liberia. But Liberians themselves are the one who making it impossible, because we are just a black species of people that don't work for them in our country. You know, today I listened to a guy. I saw this lady they call Muna Peno. Not Muna Peno, may also rest in peace. But Muna Farah, she was, I think, at the Sunday hearing. And then I listened to a guy. He came there, and you know how he got the masters, and he got the other master. He from there, I said, oh boy, there we go again. The only thing many Liberians brag about is the good for nothing degree that they take from other country and just go back to Liberia and say, oh, I'm here with masters. But as far as the practical experience go, to begin to effectively change things, they don't have it. Many Liberians that leave from abroad, all they do, they carry the BB degree, then go say that, yeah, you know, I got it from Harvard, I got it for this. Now when you get in the job, they cannot effect any changes. This is a fact. It's not an opinion. Because from the day of Dr. Willie Tokpo, Dr. Amos Sawyer, all the doctors that we had in the past, that when we were small, we saw, how much changes or how many changes have they made in the interest of our country that you can relate to today and begin to improve upon it? Absolutely nothing. And that is why I want you to understand that these guys who come abroad or travel abroad to acquire higher education, it is just a bluff, because they are not impacting anything in the country that will improve, that will make sense. We must add value to our system and structure. So the guy will leave from here to get a PhD degree. The man here, he got PhD. Bullshit. Bullshit. These are just mere talk, but no real changes. A professional and experienced person, I would prefer them if they ever went to Liberia to take on any position. That's what I would do. I don't believe in the guy coming from America. Oh yeah, they make out a PhD. There's nothing. It means nothing. It means nothing, my fellow Liberians. It means nothing. We have over many years educated people going to the country. But what can you say for a fact that they have implemented to change things around? When things that people, your grandparents told you they used to do, or things they used to see, they told you when you were growing up, you are now a father to your own children, and you still seeing the same thing, and your children seeing the thing and asking you, do you see that as a change? We should not measure our people value on their mere education. We should begin a new era of measuring things based on policy and performance. What policy do you have? How are you going to perform the policy to change people's life? But for too long, we've been looking, oh, the man got PhD, the man come in the town. Everybody look at it. The man come with no experience, when they come with that intellectual experience. Because you see, you need to understand, when you go to school and sit in the classroom, you are only acquiring what we describe as intellectual education. But the biggest component there is the experiential education. If you don't work in a field, you see, for example, the best one I can give, just so you understand the medical field. People who want to become medical doctor, after everything had been said and done, they took their state board, they graduated, they go to work on another doctor, and those doctors who they're working underneath, they go with the doctor and say, I'm a resident doctor. So that when you go to see your doctor, or you go to the hospital, sometimes you see the doctor coming in with somebody new and say, oh, this is my resident doctor. Why it is true that person came from that medical school, whether it's summa cum laude or magna cum laude, passed the state board, got all the A's, that person is not going to go directly into any patient room without introducing themselves as a resident or the main doctor coming in and say, hey, this is my resident here. He's going to be here to help learn from our practice. We don't have those standards in Liberia. That's why you see people just leave from here. They go to Liberia. Oh, yeah, I got a PhD. I got this. Look at these guys. These guys are a bunch of waste of people. They're not going to provide any result. But you know what? The country itself is filled with a lot of illiterate people. So when some of us seeing these things, they found us to be very insignificant. Like, what the guy talking about? They meant from Yale. They meant from Harvard. He got this. But only in the end, when the dust finally settle, and they get to find out that the person knows nothing, they'll be like, damn, I thought this. The CDC government, they already proved that. The CDC government, the adding people has some of it. But in terms of how many, in terms of who have more to show, it was nobody else but the CDC government. I will not lie. The CDC government, they have many people in that place that came to this position with no experience. They went through all the textbook and they couldn't find any better solution. And that's why God then defeated today. So you see, my friend, experiential education from the classroom is not enough. It's not enough. Those of you who watch European football and understand the European law, whether it is Zidane, whether it is Marco Essien, whether it is Kaká, these guys play the practical game on the field, right? You saw them playing, they were good players, they won Ballon d'Or and stuff like that, right? Some of them. But what happened when they want to become coach? They reverse the process. They play the game on the field, but before they become coach, they got to go back to the classroom to go and get that certified coaching certificate by attending classes. So you see, in the football arena, it's different sometimes for the players. The player will actually come with the practical experience. That means they have the experiential qualities because they play the game. However, if they do want to become coach, the rules say you got to go in the classroom. So that even gives them an edge to obtain their lesson quickly because they're coming with that. So no matter what we do, we have to set standards that measure our performance. What I'm telling you here are things that bring about deliverable, are things that measure progress, are things that set goal to achieve. That is why you see many organizations run on goals set from the beginning. They work through their SMART goal plans and they implement and they measure their performance to determine the result that they have. We don't have that system in place. You got to plan, you got to do it, and you got to you got to measure it. We don't have those things in our country. So all the guys you see in that country, I'm not here to condemn them. I'm just here to tell you that they're not doing nothing. So we will be taking time. Anytime we come on the platform saying Joseph Boakai is the president, we're going to be looking at Joseph Boakai arrest to discuss these things. So let's just throw a little bit of jazz on there because we are pressed with time here today, and I really appreciate you guys stopping here, right? In 2023, Joseph Boakai campaigned on the arrest agenda, a 6 bullet points plan of action that he wanted to transform Liberia with, right? That's a check mark. Yes, Randy, you're right. He did that. And Mr. Boakai has been in office for pretty close to 19 months. 19 months, right? 12 and 12 are 24. So we're chasing 24 months to make Joseph Boakai 2 years in office. We're still working towards that. But since his ascendancy to the presidency, there is nothing much that has been done as far as his arrest policy goes. Joseph Boakai should not be going outside of his arrest. To say, oh, my man, yeah, you put out arrest one side, let's go and bring out. No. Mr. Boakai promised that he will be running the country on his arrest agenda. So let's start today, and only today, with the arrest first letter. And that is what? The agriculture. What is the agriculture? Well, according to Joseph Boyka, all right, let's try to get the real detail here because I want to find his document here. Okay, there it is right here. Mr. Boyka said on his agriculture plan, Liberia agriculture sector holds the potential to drive a national development. That's what Mr. Boyka said when he ran his campaign. He came out and told people, look, this agriculture thing, I've been doing it for a long time, folks. There's nothing that I know better than agriculture. It is the backbone, it is the fabric, it is the bloodstream, it is the artery of making Liberia a better country. So therefore, the reason I even started my political campaign as a race that starts with the letter A is because I am a grand poobah. I am a guru of the agricultural sector. So he further explained, Boyka promised to revitalize. That means to revamp, to redevelop, to re-engineer the agricultural sector. But up to present, fellow Liberians, up to present, where is the Joseph Boyka National Agriculture Plan that's supposed to be the reservoir of developing policy to drive the agricultural sector across the country? We have 15 counties in our country. Where is the policy now taking shift to start to be implemented across the country? Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we just came from Grand Cru. Mr. Boyka, his national agriculture agenda is going to see Grand Cru as a county that will do this to support Mr. Boyka revitalization of the agriculture sector. Out of the 15 counties, now one county is implementing Joseph Boyka agriculture policy. So we are going 1 year, we're chasing 2 years. So I'm sitting here now and saying, oh, but I mean, we that work in this country, every year that come, we set our goal, right? Yeah, you set your goal every year. You know, you guys will be evaluated at the end of the year, right? Yeah, Jeremiah, I went for my performance evaluation. My supervisor said I did well. Every organization, government operate the same. Because you must give result to the people. The people want to see result. The people know that before the year end, they want to see result. They want to change their life. But that man came up with that arrest. There's absolutely not a single county under the Boyka administration is implementing the Boyka agricultural sector. So what's going on? We're going 1 year. We're going to 2 years. So what's going on? Are the county rejecting Boyka plans? No, they are not. Are they waiting for a plan? Of course. Liberians, yeah, same thing. We're waiting to see. So these are things that J-Randy is all about. When Boyka took the responsibility and told the Liberian people, look, I will be responsible for you guys. Because when Mr. Boyka went on every platform across the country, and when he stood up there and said, I will take the responsibility to the agenda to change things around here, he publicly told the Liberian people that he will be responsible to make things better. So with responsibility, there always should come with what? Accountability. We have to hold you accountable now. We gave you that power. And our response or reaction to you, you say you were able to take that responsibility to take care of us. We say, we are, get a chance. The old man he coming with responsibility to take care of us. But we now, as citizens, the way we can hold Boyka accountable is by asking questions. And for some of us who carry out these things here, we measure Boyka and say, look, you got to arrest. Where is your policy? Because policy is a process, is a well-thought plan that look at the why and how things should be done to produce result. And producing the result that make people happy is considered to be a performance. You know, you gotta go watch Barcelona game, right? Why you think of Barcelona when you coming back happy? Because the Barcelona team say, look, our policy is to go out there and win games. And when we win game, our supporters are happy. They buy our jersey, we are happy. Right? And you become so defensive when somebody says, "Mama, Barcelona, mama, move forward there, man. What you talking about? Go check our trophy reservoir." So team play to provide result. And the result make you guys who are the customers / the fan happy, right? Government win election by convincing the people on a platform. When they win, the next thing is to transform that platform into policy. That policy must be driven through all the ministry and agency to do what? To deliver result. A result that the people will start to see in their lives. Like creating jobs, helping the community to grow, providing security, justice, all these things. When people start to see this thing, then the customer / the citizen / the party supporter become happy people. And there's nowhere. So when I come to challenge these things, I'm looking at a policy that is not in place, and I'm talking about a performance that is not even measuring on any scale if I put it on any Weber or current day scale. That's what I'm asking for. So the question now is, what are these guys who be on board that call themselves experienced people? Why aren't they coming up with these things? So who is the agriculture minister? What are his vision? When will he start to implement the agriculture policy? When will we start to hear that things are agriculturally taking place across the 15 counties? If that is a way to describe the agriculture. When will things agriculturally start to take shift in the country? When I see nothing about the agriculture sector. When will we start to see things? When will we start to see things? Because Mr. Walker said here, all right, and I'm going to read this. Liberia agriculture sector holds the potential to drive national development, reduce food inputs. Joseph Walker said that the reason he truly believed in the agriculture sector because it's going to drive a national development, I mean nationwide, and that national development will be able to reduce food input. I mean, we'll be reducing food input, right? Have we started to reduce food input in the country? Or are we beyond the level we were when we took office? So where are we? Do you know? Are we reducing our food importation and increasing our food productivities? Do you know that? I mean, if we are reducing our food importation and increasing our food production, then that means the policy that Joseph Boka is talking about as a national development plan that will reduce the importation of food and increase the production of food, then we measure and say, yeah, Joseph Boka is doing well, Randy. Look at the line. Before, our importation was up, but now it's dipping down, and then our independent counties are increasing food production. We don't have that graph. We don't have that data to talk about. Do you know where that is? If you were to walk out to the agriculture minister today and say, hey, so where are we now with as far as, reducing our importation? And, in fact, what were the data? How much food are we importing into Liberia? Just to get that chunk data, and then we can start to what? We can start to what? Cascade this thing little by little. What are we bringing? Fish? Canned food? What are those things that we're bringing? Since we have a heavy number, let's say somebody say every month we bring about 1 million tons of food, all right? Now, it's a whole tons. Pick one in a big bag. But I open it up and see how many canned food coming, how many fish, people coming in the country. Oh, okay, so we see that. All right, so what can we start to target and to reduce these things? And then start to increase it in our country. There is nothing. So you see, Boka talked about these things during the campaign. People became animated. People became power up, And they bought into this thing. So what we are saying now, Boka, you already did all the thing now. So where's the result now? So we are just going back by asking Mr. Boka, you promised all these things. Where are they? So let's continue here. All right. Boka promised to revitalize this sector. That's the agricultural sector. But what has happened since he came to power? 19 months now, right? 19 months. All right. 19 months. Oh, I love the hairline here. I love that hairline. I'll keep that. Something interesting coming up. That's something different though. So, after all the promise Boka made, yet there is no national policy. That is where we're going. There is no national policy, investment plan, or subsidy program that has been introduced. Am I lying here, folks? You see, when I told you guys from the beginning that my criticism of Boka will be seen by his supporter as a hate. But no, this is not hate. My criticism of Boka is to challenge Boka by asking for his policy and performance. In his own words, this is what he said he would do. But is he doing those things? And that's why we're asking this question. Don't allow somebody to say, yeah, we're doing it, my man. Don't worry, we're doing it. No. Show me what you say you're doing. Show me what you say you're doing. And that would convince me. And somebody asked me, I had a game. That the other day I was asking my boy, Moyu, had a game when you couldn't talk. The next thing I know, Elabi Kayuki and say, oh, my man, they flog Jesse. And you know, so I'm just trying to pick Moyu left because I think that kind of example kind of mirror what I'm talking about. When people say they will do something, we have to hold them accountable. When Boka said, we will do this, he will tell you that he will be responsible to do it for you. But after all the years, after all the months, a Boka is yet to provide a national agricultural policy, an investment plan that's supposed to help drive these things. Then we are using our responsibility as being accountable citizen to ask Mr. Boka. So as you walk away today, I'm not going to let go of this topic. We will single-handedly discuss Mr. Boka's 6 bullet points that he called the arrest and ask for policy implementation and ask for performance. Because without the policy, you will not get performance. And without the performance, you will not get no result. A no game is, you get a team. Yes, we got a team. But if the team don't play, you will not see the performance of the team. And if the team perform on the field, it will give you result. So it is an independent, or I'm not independent, it's a dependable process. Bring the team on the field to play. Let them play. Let's see their performance, and then we'll see the result. Boka, show all your national policy on your agriculture program. Let's look at your performance, and let's see what is giving result to these people. That's all we're asking, because he said it here. So without a national policy, investment plan, or subsidy program, none of the things have been introduced to the Liberian people by Mr. Boka. Right? So what we are essentially doing here is we are essentially conducting what we call citizen audit of Boka arrest program. This is a pure citizen audit. An audit is to determine whether what Boka said he will do, he is actually doing those things. Is he doing those things? No. But we are only asking questions. We are going off what Mr. Boka has written for us. That's all we're doing. Everything I'm quoting for you, I'm reading it down here. Initially, when I started, I was looking at you guys, but I had to look at what Boka said, and I'm reading these things, and you're getting the feedback from me, and we're asking this question. Because we're not seeing the result out there. We are not, to be honest. We are not. Because he said he was going to reduce food importation. Where are we looking to see that the food importation is reducing and the production of food in our country is increasing? Which category of food are we producing more to cut down our dependency on importation of that same food crops? Show me. Convince me. It's up to you guys. That's all I'm doing. If you even fly me from here to go to Liberia tomorrow, that's the same way I'll be asking. I go to every ministry. Every ministry. See, the whole agenda of arrest, it is applicable to all ministry. All ministry. It touches all ministry. So how do we know? You see, when you sit down and listen to experienced people who not only get a degree. So I hate to talk about my degree all the time, to be honest with you guys. The last time I showed you got a degree, all the degree over there. It means nothing if you cannot deliver anything. Your degree means nothing if you cannot deliver anything. I know we all went to school, we graduated, we got all the degree and passing it around here. But what are you doing to solve problem and deliver result? When you start to solve problem and deliver result, and people start to look up to you, then you become a value. When people are coming to you because of result they are getting, then you become an asset. You become valuable to them. That is what and where the importance of your education comes. But when people start to question you, then that means your education, your experience have become a concern. So BORCA is yet. So today in Liberia, because we don't know the National Agriculture Plan, we don't know nothing about investment. Farmers remain without tools, right? So if we say we want to increase local food production, farmers should be having tools. Farmers should be going through training. There should be support. As far as importing rice, we need to cut it down to start to produce our own rice. Because we often say rice is our staple food. How can we say rice is our staple food when we are not even producing rice? So I want you to think about this as we go home today. I want you to think about this. BORCA ran on the arrest agenda. He promised to revitalize the farming, boost food security, reduce import, and create jobs. That was the promise he made. And for every promise, there must be a deliverable or a reality. If you make promise and there's no deliverable, then the reality check will come in. So because we have never had any deliverable from BORCA from the agricultural sector, the reality today now is there's no national agriculture stimulus plan that Mr. BORCA has launched so far. There's none. Rural farmer, there's nothing new. No tools, no training, no subsidy. Food importation remain high. Can you argue that? Can you argue that? You cannot argue that. So the next time we come back, we'll be going to the next letter, and that is called Rose. Let's see what BORCA said about Rose and what he's doing today, and see what we can connect that doubt. Well, I want you to process what we talk about today from the agricultural sector. You know the various bullet points we hit. I want you to sleep over that, think about it, and begin to have this conversation. When you're talking to the BORCA people, tell them, look, I'm only asking this question to determine BORCA policy and performance. That's all. That's all. He made the promises. All I'm asking you, what or where is the policy? How do I know their performance? And where's the result? Farmers should be tools up. Farmers should be trained, and farmers across the counties should start to engage the soil based on what BORCA want to achieve. When you start to have the comprehensive conversation, even if they want to curse you, you will say, my man, CDC man. That's what they will say. All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for the time. It's summertime in the U.S., so we spend more time out there doing a lot of activities. But if the time permits, we'll be back here again. School has closed, so depending on the situation during the day, I would love to come and be sharing time. And, my time varies, and, so they always say, my bro, good Sunday, but there are sometimes on evening I will show up, or there are some evening I will not show up. But I want to encourage you guys to just hit that follow button so that when I come on, you can get that alert. But we are going to objectively be asking Boka these questions. So we'll be back here the next time we meet. We will be looking at the first hour in the arrest agenda, and we'll be asking questions. All right. There is something that I would like to leave here with you guys, and I'll always read that here. And it says, a vision, all right, with all action is just a dream. If Mr. Boka believed that he had a vision, but that vision had no action, then we are living in Boka dreams and not in reality. So God bless you guys. Take care, you guys, and thank you very much for taking your time out to join me here. We'll be back here again whenever God allows us the opportunity. God bless you guys, and bye for now.